Hello, everyone, and welcome to the SCHOTT Pharmaversity podcast. My name is Neus Ferrer, and I'm going to be your host today. Today, we're talking about addressing advanced stakeholder needs in biologics, a glass prefill syringe, and a coated plunger case study with Sven Pohle. Sven is Global Product Manager for glass syringes at SCHOTT Pharma and maybe known to some of you. So in the next minutes, we'll share insights on how innovative solutions meet advanced stakeholder needs in this field of biological drugs. Hi, Sven. Thanks for joining.
Oh, Niels, good to be here.
Let's start. My first question, Sven, is in your Pharmaversity session, you've been talking about prefilled glass syringes and coated plungers. Why is this combination relevant and an interesting packaging for injectable drugs?
Well, first of all, we have been seeing a growth of prefillable, prefilled syringes for quite some time. In general, there is a life cycle trend from vials to PFS. So existing drugs in a vial are being relaunched in a PFS. And there are many good reasons for doing this. So first of all, it's differentiation on the market, but of course also ease of use, and convenience for patients, but also for healthcare professionals is a driver here. It's about improved patient safety, so there's a reduced risk of dosage errors or contamination when using a prefilled syringe instead of a vial. And then from a pharma point of view, differentiation on the market, as I said, reduced overfill, and flexible and small manufacturing footprint because of the ready-to-use concept. That are all drivers that are relevant to consider when it comes to this life cycle trend. And secondly, the rise of biologics leads to a strong demand of high-value drug delivery solutions. And here, high-quality glass prefilled syringes and coated plungers are in focus.
Great, thank you. So you just mentioned the rise of biologics. Could you please give us an overview where this rise is coming from?
Yes. So one observation is that there's an increasing prevalence of chronic diseases and cancer that may have various reasons, right? So aging populations, lifestyle, improved discovery. The pharma industry is doing a lot of research to find answers for these challenges. The development pipeline for injectable drugs is well filled. There's about 5,000 drugs under development in the fields of biologics and biosimilars. We see evolving drug technology platforms. Monoclonal antibodies are one prominent example. Another one with a lot of public visibility are the GLP-1 based drugs for the treatment of type 2 diabetes and obesity. And a trend that has been around for some time and is becoming more and more pronounced is a hospital to home care shift. So more and more treatments are transferred from the hospital environment to the patient's home. Instead of healthcare professionals, the patients are doing self-administration either by injecting the PFS in a safety device or in an auto-injector. And this trend is supported by a change in the administration route. Many drugs are currently being developed or reformulated to become a subcutaneous injection. So instead of an intravenous application with the respective setup and preparation, the drug can be injected into the subcutaneous space. A clear advantage for the patient and the overall healthcare system.
Absolutely. You also mentioned a while ago that biologics require high quality drug delivery solutions. Could you elaborate a bit on this?
Sure. It's all about the nature of biotechnological drug formulations. Most biologics contain an active ingredient, a peptide or a protein, so a complex molecule that is more or less sensitive to external influences. So biologics are a challenge for the primary packaging, and this is due to the interaction and the impact on stability of the API, of the active pharmaceutical ingredients. So many ions, also many drug contacting materials are in a prefilled syringe, and ions may leach out of glass. Silicon may interact with the drug. There's tungsten involved, so tungsten residues may lead to protein degradation or aggregation, and also extractables from the RNS, so the rigid needle shield, or the plunger may interact with the drug. And then these elastomer components, closures I mentioned, the RNS and the plunger, they have some permeability, at least the RNS, because it needs to be permeable to ensure the sterility or the sterilization of the syringes. And here, if it is too permeable, there could be some evaporation and needle clogging appears. Or if there are oxygen-sensitive drugs, there could be a compromised stability because of oxygen permeability. And yeah, of course, also particulate requirements are becoming more and more stringent. So this is, of course, also a challenge for the primary packaging material.
Great, thank you. For the ones that know you already as a global product manager for the glass prefillable syringes, so for me, you are the ambassador, yeah? And according to you, what is the specific offering for biologics in your area, in the area of the prefillable syringes portfolio of SCHOTT Pharma?
Yeah, we are in a viable position of having two leading brand families in our portfolio, two solutions of different materials. The polymer syringe in the market is SCHOTT Topak, and for glass, a well-established PFS platform with syriQ BioPure is available. So we can really give material unbiased consulting to our pharma customers. We can provide the right solution depending on the needs and requirements of the drug formulation and the application. Let's speak about the glass prefillable syringe. Here, syriQ BioPure comes with a clear value proposition that is based on two pillars. One is the perfect fit for use, so looking into a stable solution of drug container and closure system, and the clear benefit is increased drug stability. There are some technical features like the Biologics type 1 borosilicate glass and ultra-low tungsten and glue residues that contribute to this perfect fit for use. The second pillar is safe and easy administration. It's about safe and easy drug delivery, and that is ensured by superior functionality. Also here, very important is the optimized silicone layer inside the barrel to ensure complete injection, the perfect device integration into auto-injector or safety devices that is ensured by specific dimensional specifications, very tight specifications. And then, of course, the multi-level system verification. So including the rigid needle shield, the plunger into the system verification, and ensuring that we have a fast time to market.
When you talk about the syriQ BioPures, then you often mention the system, approach. What exactly do you mean with this system approach?
Well, let's look at this from different angles. First of all, the prefillable syringe itself is considered as a system as it contains various components, the needle shield, or the rigid needle shield, RNS, and also the plunger. RNS and plunger are elastomeric components, each with a complex profile of properties. For RNS, for the rigid needle shield, it is important to assess the fitness for intended use. So the application of biologics requires high quality extractables and leachables profile. That means low levels of extractables and leachables to reduce the interactions with the complex drug to a minimum. Moreover, the RNS is permeable. I mentioned that before already, to enable sterilization of the empty syringes, leading to the ready-to-use concept of today's prefillable syringes. This permeability comes with a certain oxygen and water vapor transmission rate. There are different RNS in the market, and they all have different properties in this context. And here, our consulting continues, and we recommend to our pharma customers the right solution depending on the drug requirements. For plungers, typically coated or laminated plungers are used. These plungers consist of a protective layer of a fluoropolymer on the drug contacting surface. With this, the extractables and leachables profile is significantly improved, enabling this fit for biologics use. And here, different suppliers, different systems to vary. Therefore, a system approach within syriQ BioPure means to assess not only the syringe glass barrel with the needle, but also the closures, RNS and plungers. And of course, not only empty syringes, but also in filled state to mimic the final use of our syringes through the pharma customer and the user. We have data packages available to support our customers in their filing activities. The second important topic to consider is the use of the PFS in devices, either safety devices or autoinjectors. The autoinjector is the interface to the patient, and the prefillable syringe contributes to the user experience. For instance, the RNS pull-off force, that is, how much force does it take to remove the needle shield from the syringe cone, contributes to the cap removal force of the autoinjector. So the higher that is, the more force the patient has to exert. Another topic is processing. How smooth can the syringe assembled into the device? That's important for pharma and CDMOs. So the perfect device integration is a key requirement. For syriQ BioPure, we ensure tight dimensional specifications, specific autoinjector dimensions, and we conduct a thorough system verification with the device platforms of the leading autoinjector manufacturers.
Great, Sven. Thank you. And now, before we reach the end of today's podcast, can you teaser us a little bit about what are the latest innovations for biologics with syriQ BioPure you're involved with?
Yeah, sure. I love to talk about innovations. And I would like to mention here two highlights. One is the syriQ BioPure silicon-free syringe. This is probably the most stable storage and application system for highly silicon oil-sensitive drugs. It consists of a silicon-free barrel based on the syriQ BioPure platform, together with the dedicated plunger from Gore, both silicon-free, and with this we enable a very low particle load and reduces the risk of silicon oil-induced aggregation. So that's recently launched, and the last one was also presented some while ago, the large volume syringe, the first stake needle PFS for biologics with a filling volume up to 5.7 milliliter and for auto-injector use. It is the latest addition to the syriQ BioPure platform based on the same quality standards, but for large volumes. And with this, we are supporting the IV to SCHOTT trend I mentioned before, less frequent injections to improve patients' life, resulting in higher payload, higher viscosities, and higher volumes. That's an interesting and emerging field of drug development, and we are happy to support our pharma customers here with the right drug delivery solution.
In fact, we had a session on that, Sven. So if anyone is interested, there's a podcast and there's a webinar to that. So I'm really looking forward to hear more from you in the future.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pleasure.
Great. I want to thank to our listeners. We hope you enjoyed this episode and learned about all the interconnections when dealing with biological drugs that go into a prefillable syringe. Hope to see you soon, to hear you soon. Take care and bye-bye.